Hello there, and I've got a Class 08 which is by Hornby, and she's worth about £60 brand new. You can find her second hand still, but she came out this year, but she's on the railroad range, so she's meant to be quite cheap and affordable. And I'm going to compare her with this Bachmann 08. This one's 3 years old now, but she was in top line, and she's on the market nowadays for about £90. So it's like £60, £90. What's the difference? And are you going to be able to tell on your layout? So let's take a look at what we're going to do. So here I've got a parallel straight, so we can use this to see how well they can run at a low speed, and also I can set them at 50% speed and just see how quickly they are run. We've also got a set of points which are set up in a passing loop configuration, and we can see how well they navigate between this. And I've also got a small incline, so here we can test it with and without a load just to see if they can do that. Okay, here I've got my parallel lines, and both tracks are powered, so I can turn the volume up on just one controller and we can see how these 208s move out. So from a crawling perspective, that Bachmann 08 is clearly a lot better for kind of shunting manoeuvres. With the EWS, the Hornby one, it hasn't got a low gear, so it's difficult to control. Let's bring her back. She still is controllable, but compared to the Bachmann 08, you just got a lot more fine grain control. And let's just pop it on the other line to make sure it's not a problem on the track. Move them up gradually again. Let's try the right way, off the points, just make it clear. Okay, so next I'm going to do the 50% power test. So the controller's set out at 50%. I'm just going to turn it on and we'll see what speed these have at 50%. That EWS is pretty fast. Again, it's a Hornby, very high geared. She can move pretty quickly, with the Bachmann one very slow, as you kind of need for an 08. So the next thing I've got is an incline. You can see it on the screen, and it's called cold start, or stationary start. This time running with the Bachmann to start with. Copes with that pretty well. So now the Hornby. Again, slow and steady. Equal, no problems there. So now this time I've got 9 wagons on her. Let's see what she does. Okay, no problem. And again for the Hornby. She did derail at the top. That's because at the top end of this, up here, there's a corner, a curve even, and she just derailed, and that could have just been my track. So I'm not going to, dismiss her for that. She's taken the load, no problems. Okay, so next we've got the long train test. I've got, I don't know how many wagons, but it's quite a long train, as you can see. We've got VO8 on the head. Okay, starting with the Bachmann again. Let's see how she does. Even at a slow speed, no problem. And there's the brake sign. So let's reset. Okay, now we have the Hornby. And she makes it. Oh, she's struggling a bit with the bend, and now she's slipping. Spin around. Okay, I'll say she's failed on that one. If she had a run up, she could probably make it without any problem. I would say it's an unfair load. That's a long train. It's really nice that the Bachmann can cope with it, but a little shunter like this, probably on a smaller layout, you ain't going to need a train this big. So she's failed, but that's not a biggie. Okay, here I've got my point test, and this is to make sure that the locos can cope with things like passing loops, where you have like a double point like this. And I think that was pretty steady. Okay, and now for the Hornby one, and I will say the Hornby model is much lighter, and that may have an effect here. But no, she's running beautifully. Okay, so the final view between this Hornby 08 and the Bachmann 08. And again, this one's out this year. This Hornby is regular one, just new livery, but this livery is this year. And this Bachmann one's 2022, so she's been out for a few years. I picked her up for just over £100, I think. I've had no trouble with her at all this time. She's a beautiful little runner. She's got perfect speed. She's got a nice weight to her. The Hornby one's very light, but I've not had any trouble with her running as such, but low speeds are a bit tricky to do anything with, and she can run much faster than she should, but you can control that, that's no problem. So the difference in price, again, this is like 60 to 80 and this is 80 to 100, so it's only 20 or 30 pound difference depending on where you're going. If you need to save money, go for the railroad. It's a no-brainer really, but if you really want that shunting ability, you're going to have to go a little bit more expensive and make sure you get at least a Bachmann model in this case, or the higher end models from different manufacturers. I hope you enjoyed that. I really like doing the comparison. I'm going to put these down before I drop them or something silly. Let me know if you've got these models and how they perform for you, and if you've had any troubles with them. We had a lot of trouble with the little Hornby one. This is the third version that we've tested it here. The two other versions, one, the gears wouldn't connect, they wouldn't bite, and the second one, the pickup just didn't work. And you know, we didn't fancy playing around with her trying to fix her, so we sent them both back and we got it all sorted eventually. But bear in mind, this should have been, you know, an easy model for Hornby to make, and they've done it before, so hey ho. But yeah, let me know if you've had any trouble with these, or if you've got any other 08s. And enjoy and take care, and we'll see you again soon.